see you. Let's give some loving shout outs. We have Michaela, Christina.
Recording in
Last time I saw you here
progress.
at the ARC. Jerry, Dr. Laura, we'll be embracing you at Sangama very soon. Scotty O, likewise, we'll be seeing you here very soon. Who else do we have? Tina, our new bestie, we met yesterday.
Yes, nice
Jennifer,
to
I think
see
you're new
you.
to. Yes, nice to see you too. Jennifer, I think you might be new to our world. Welcome, a very warm welcome to you. Nathan, great to see you again. Kat, and of course, our headliner, Sebastian, and that's all I see on my screen right now. If I haven't mentioned you yet, welcome. We are so happy you're here for this session of Community Architects Gathering. Community Architects Gathering is devoted to leaders who are gathering in-person communities, and we specify in-person communities, not a WhatsApp group, not a Facebook group. You might have those components, however, beyond that, there is this linchpin of having in-person events for your community. It's a area where a lot of people have just thrown in the towel and just said, you know what, it's a lot easier to go on Zoom and do all my events on Zoom, and I can charge just as much for the Zoom events and make a lot more money, so I'll just do that. And if you're here, I'm asserting you're not one of those people. You know that something in your work is just not fully realized if it is not done in person. Can I get some amen with that? Yes? So how do we make it sustainable, thriving, scalable? As community leaders, the tendency is that we take on so much because we're so heart-centered, and a lot of the systems that actually allows a community to thrive year after year after year are missing. And when we have the Community Architects Gathering, it's an opportunity to meet an expert who has done this and is doing this currently, and then we pull back the curtain how they've made that happen. So we are very excited to be welcoming in the second half of the day, Sebastian Cruze will be sharing how he's done that with his Dream Team 100. Before we go any further, I have to do something very, very important, which is to introduce my beloved Dr. Mansi Shah. Welcome, Dr. Mansi. What would you like to share?
I am so excited for what we're building, and I personally believe that we are headed in next 1 year in this accelerated phase of AI, creating a lot of inventions, innovations, and then at the same time, some kind of distrust is going to also kick in because we're not able to really recognize what's real, what's not. And that's why we're standing for community and community-centered founders, because we know in 10 years, people are going to crave a lot of connection, trust, and experiences. So those founders who understand the future progression of human behavior and human, I would say interactions, they are the ones who are going to win. So are you going to be a leader or a laggard, right? That's the question to ask. And are you going to take charge of your leadership to show up for your community? Because that's what we need the most right now. So I'm super excited for what we're creating. And we love Sebastian Cruze. So he's built this thriving community with the Dream 100 strategy and methodology. So really excited for today's call. And what a turnout. I'm really excited for how these calls are growing. So let's get into it. Jon Block.
I want to bring up a few slides before we go any further to set some foundation. What is a community architect? So this question's been coming up a lot recently. If we were to define conventional architecture, most people have a sense of what this is that if a real estate developer, a government project, they are building a building, then they need an architect to design that building, make sure it's sustainable for decades to come. So it's no small responsibility. It's got to be structurally sound and have to have a really cool aesthetic and vibe such that people would want to come there and live there and work there. It's such are the responsibilities of an architect. Now, a community architect is one who focuses rather than on the building structure, on the people. which in our view is, well, they're both important. However, our area of real passion and purpose is with the people. How do people come together in such a way that it is structurally sound, where people feel safe and feel welcome and want to come back again and again and again? To Monty's point, there has been so much movement towards the AI side of things and big tech that there is a counter movement towards in person community. And you're here because you know that. This should not be surprising to anyone who's at your level that there is the counter movement. You are a pioneer in this. You're fanning the flames of this. We're here to make this bigger. So now I'm debatable. I don't even like even saying that so much is going online right now. Duh, obviously. That's like old news. What is new and exciting is that this groundswell and need for experiences, for immersion and in-person community. Now, who are you going to be about it? How are you going to thrive in this community economy? A few key points of what community architecture is. It's bringing people together online and in person. So once again, if you're just bringing people together online, that doesn't really constitute a community. People have to be able to see each other, smell their aura. So the in person is absolutely essential to really create that sense of community, or a word that we also use, which is tribe. Create belonging through shared purpose. So it's not enough to just say bring people together for networking, just as a basic example. So the event Tina and I met at, for instance, there is this emphasis on conscious entrepreneurship. We're raising consciousness through our entrepreneurship, which works at a networking level very nicely. And certainly, as you get even more specific with multi-day immersions, then you have to have a clear shared purpose of what you are all creating together. There's an opportunity to swing out, dig deep into your own highest purpose. Why are you put on earth? This is one reason we believe that being a community architect is one of the most powerful pathways towards self-actualization. Where else can you be held accountable to really knowing why you were put on earth? Martin Luther King Jr. was a community architect. He had to really dig deep into why he was put on earth because the community required that of him. He had to show up for his people and the mission. So consider what your equivalent is to that. Build a thriving ecosystem for the leader. Now, as much as we revere Martin Luther King, he did not do this. And this was the popular activism of the 1960s. And we live in a much different time right now, but we are in the age of the entrepreneur. And what we love about that is the emphasis on sustainability and ways to keep the legacy going. So these terms are associated with entrepreneurship, having a sustainable, thriving organization. We like sustainable too, because it also implies it's good for the environment. There's an ecological, good for you, good for me, good for the planet aspect to it. We say thriving ecosystem, it's that it's not just being in the events business. And I know this pain firsthand from having produced festivals starting in 2008. That was my first entree into community architecture. And being in the one off festival business is really a lot more like gambling than it is like running a business. So, to have the sustainable ecosystem where people come into your world, they come into your events, and then that's where the real business happens, is once they're in there through memberships, through collaborations, through partnerships. This is where you play in a bigger game, not just being a single-minded service provider, but also be involved in other things can be really conducive to having a thriving ecosystem. This is something that Monty and I feel really strongly about. Our first date would be on this topic, among other topics. Honey, anything you want to add about the thriving ecosystem? We'll need you to unmute, sweetie. It was really compelling, even muted though.
Here you go. I was going to share that as entrepreneurs, it's really important to note that more fragmented that we do things, it is only going to be harder for us, there'll be more overwhelm, there'll be loss of income, mental health challenges, relationships can get strained. But imagine if you could create a real amazing ecosystem where you have all the different arms meeting each other. So like the community will feed like us. I'll give you an example. So we have the community, we have events that we do, and we have the event space, and we have about 2,400 subscribers to the ARC, right? And there's a lot of business that happens for us by, of course, our retreats and people joining the guild and the academy. But at the same time, a lot of other people are hosting their retreats here. So that's a part of the ecosystem. And then we also have other products that we get to launch because of this. So what I love is that we can create something all through a thriving community and not get burnt out.
We can't emphasize enough how community leaders burn out, and most communities just stop. They're not scaled, they're not sold. And as entrepreneurs, gang, this is another thing worth noting, is that we don't have retirement plans. Our retirement plan is to sell our business. So to start thinking in terms of the community that you're leading as a sellable asset. So Ivan Meisner, founder of BNI, would be in the Hall of Fame when it comes to this as a community architect. And the way he created something that doesn't rely on him. It's a system whereby there's chapter leads and people are recruiting actively. Sandra Yancey with eWomen, who was our guest at Community Architects a few sessions back, would be another example of someone who would be in the Hall of Fame of community architects. The last thing we want right now is for you to feel overwhelmed and like, oh my God, there's so much here. So we're just painting a broad, big picture of what's possible as a community architect. Now to bring it back down, this is for you if you're an entrepreneur here to crush it. We'll start by saying that. If you're here to have great success as an entrepreneur, in-person community is your ultimate competitive advantage right now. And it's also what I consider to be the most fulfilling aspect of being an entrepreneur. This is also for you if you want a successful freelance career as a community architect. Gang, we are creating a vocation here called community architects. There are people like Radha Agrawal or the woman who introduced us to Sebastian, Amber Spears, who are self-described community architects. However, this is not an established vocation yet in our culture. We see a community architect being hired by a business the same way an architect would be hired by a real estate developer. That's where we're moving towards. Such is the importance of having a community architect. And not every business owner is meant to be one. In fact, we say a good test is, are you the person who loves throwing dinner parties and bringing people together? Then you probably should be the community architect if you're the business owner. However, if you are a tech entrepreneur and your thing is just being in the lab and just being behind your computer, then you probably want to hire a community architect. And a good example in the tech space would be, of course, Apple, right? When there's a thing called an iPod, everyone's like, what the hell is an iPod? And they're getting people together in person, and Steve Jobs got a masterful speaker trainer to really lead the Apple community, okay? A huge part of why Apple became what it was. It was the in-person gatherings. These were like rock concerts that people were so excited to be a part of. So wherever you are in your business, if you're just starting out or if you're established, community is such an essential part. All right, now we're going to turn to you all. We're going to put you all in breakout groups and give you the opportunity to share, to meet one another, and to be sharing where you are on your community architecture journey. Maybe you have an event coming up that you'll be bringing people together. It's an opportunity to share with others about that. Maybe you have an ultimate vision of your community. We love that. Share that with your group as well. We're going to give you 5 minutes all together. And we're going to do this in approximately groups of 4. All right. Go ahead. And I'm going to split up Jerry and Laura. So let me move.
Here. Recording stopped.
Sebastian, we want to keep in the room with us, right? Honey, just stay unmuted.
He already joined the room, so at this point, just you and me can hang out here. Let him get to know some folks.
Okay. Laura has not joined.
I did join something.
Oh, okay, you should be in room 3, Laura.
Okay.
You see that invite to room 3?
I thought I pushed it and okay, join.
Okay, there you go. And then you can keep the rest here.
Yeah, and just Rahul and us.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I wanted to have the QR code to book a call with us if they want to connect further. So I need to put that up real quick. How you feeling, honey?
I'm feeling great. And we are also live, so I would like to continue conversations that are about community architecture because we're going live on YouTube.
Oh, we're live right now? I thought it paused. My bad.
You cannot pause a live. So every time you do this with the breakout, we're always live.
Okay, well, if you are with us live right now, I'm learning here. I feel like I should have known that. I'm going to let go of that self-judgment. Then write down where are you with your community, and use this opportunity to color in. What's the community that you're here to create? What's it going to look like in 5 years and 10 years? This is a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah, we're live right now. I see it on my LinkedIn. So, Jon Block, maybe we can get Sebastian out a little bit sooner. You want to drop in a message for him? And we can have
do one thing here.
a leaders conversation while everyone's in breakout rooms. I truly believe that we are going to be in a time where people are going to be so tired of their phones, and I won't be surprised if we went back to like a life where, oh, this year I'm not having a phone to myself. Like everything I need to do can be done through computer, and then I have hours given to the screen time. And then like I just feel like a lot of things we're dealing with is only going to grow rampantly without proper, I would say, guardrails.
Well, you can lead the way. Are you about to make a declaration of when you're going to be off your phone for a year? Do you want to say ramp up 2029, 2030? That'll be the year of no phone for you? And just plan
Wow,
around
that'd
that?
be awesome. You think I can go and just live with the elephants for a year?
You can do whatever you want. I mean, some planning is required. So that's why I say don't do it right this second.
Yeah, I would love that. At least for, I can start with a month. A year is a bit longer than what I can comprehend right now. I would love to have a time for a month when I'm off my phone and I'm not liable for any meetings or things, and then I can just go serve at the elephant sanctuary. Wouldn't that be amazing? Just saying.
Totally. I'm just thinking. All right, I think it's 5 minutes right now, so we'll bring people back.
Recording in progress.
Hello again. We're back from our
Yay!
5 minutes.
Welcome back.
We didn't realize we only had like 45 seconds each.
Oh, okay.
So the gentleman that was in my group didn't really get to give his spiel.
Well, there was 60 seconds left. You left early. Technically, I can put you back for 30 seconds.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Actually, I'm not seeing how to put you back without resetting all the
Okay,
breakout.
no worries.
I'm gonna write it out. Was it nice to connect people with people briefly, Laura?
Yes, yes.
Good. That's what we want. Yes.
All right, welcome, everyone.
Perfect timing.
All right, let's take 1 or 2 quick shares. We got a lot to cover. Who is excited to share either something that you're creating or somebody else is creating in your group? You can just go
Raise
ahead
your
and
virtual
unmute.
hand up.
Raise your virtual hand. Who would like to share?
Jennifer's got a new retreat property coming up that sounds amazing. In 45 minutes from Vancouver, and beautiful compound. Pass it over to you if you want to share more.
Yeah, it's under construction with architects and engineers and builders at the moment, but I had a dream about it last night, and so that's kind of positive. And 2 people were like totally willing to pay $5,000 for 5 days and hang out there, and I was like, good, I'm on the right track here. But it's a magical piece of land that when you sit on it, you just start relaxing. And you can receive clarity instantly. It has fruit trees and forest, and it will have a pool and a sauna and a hot tub and a guest suite and all of that. So intimate private retreats or masterminds. All kinds of things are possible. I'm in the dreaming stage right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gang, this is so beautiful to hear you share that. Already the universe is showing you the affirmation or confirmation, right, that you're on path with these people who are ready to pay the 5,000. And moving out of the hotel ballrooms, this is a key shift pre and post COVID. For people to get out of their houses, it's got to be beyond a hotel ballroom to really succeed, right? Like this is the next wave, right? So love that you're creating this. All right, well, keep it moving. Christina Hills, let's bring you on. What would you like to share?
Well, I'm planning on doing an in-person retreat at Jon and Mansi's place because I was recently at another event and it was at a hotel, right? Just like last weekend. And the vibe is so different, Jon. And I had a hard time getting past the, being at your place, you and Mansi's place, and the vibe that created, the space and the container it created. And then I go to this corporate event, and it was a small event. It was good. Everybody was nice, but I really had to work hard to shift. And so anyhow, the event that I want to put together, pulling from my list of 45,000 people that I have already, because I've been teaching online, creating online spaces, is for people who are interested in spirituality. And because I teach people how to build websites, I want to help them get their message out, their spiritual message out to the world, in whatever form of spirituality works for them. So I'm excited to do that. I did an event in 2011, so that was a long time ago. And I did a lot of things right. I did a lot of things wrong. So I was like, okay, I'm going back to online only. But both of you are right on with the age of AI. This is where we all have to move to, because AI cannot compete with in-person human experiences. So that's why I'm eager to jump back into this, even though it's been many years.
Yes.
Thank
Love
you
that.
for sharing
And
that.
hosting with the ARC. Yes. And by the way, Mark Cuban agrees with you and everyone else here. He's moved hundreds of millions, if not billions, into the live event space, because he said, quote, in 3 years' time, the only way you're going to know you're talking to a real person is at an in-person event. Okay, that's the current.
As long as they can provide that they are not the clone, like a certificate. Just kidding.
If you haven't been to the ARC, you gotta go. If anyone here hasn't been, you have to go.
Yes.
Thanks
thank
for
you.
that.
All right, Tim, your hand is up. Let's go to you.
Hello, everybody. I have to just say that I just ran an in-person event last weekend, and then ran an online event over the last 2 days, and it was the same content. And I texted John halfway through day one of the online event and said, John, promise me you'll never let me do another online retreat. To which he was like happy to help enforce that. But here's the interesting dynamic. On the back of my live events, I do offer like a online coaching program to integrate what they learn at the retreats. Yesterday afternoon was session number 1 for one of those cohorts that came in through the live event. Now, the energy in that Zoom room was awesome, only because they had all already met in person. The people who met in the Zoom room in the 2-day event, it was terrible by comparison. So like, there is a world where we can do both. We're doing it right now. We're on Zoom, but yes, I've also spent time at the ARC. And for all like what Christina just said, y'all have to get to the ARC. Christina and I jumped into the breakout room. It was like, hey, great to see you, because we met at the ARC in person. So having this kind of online, offline world, for me, I'm realizing the magic of beginning that journey in person allows you to continue it online in a much closer way. Complete.
Yes. And we love having you in the academy with us, Tim. And you hosted a beautiful longevity after loss retreat here at the ARC for people who had lost, in this case, it was their spouses. And now what's next for them, longevity after loss. So it's really beautiful. Anyone who looking for someone in the grief space, Tim is the go-to for it. And really, really beautiful work that you do.
Thanks.
All right. We're gonna take one more, Michaela, because we love Michaela. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. First of all, I want you guys to look behind me. It's why I walked outside. So I'm going to lift this up. I don't know how much you guys can see. So this is my avocado and citrus farm.
Nice.
And I actually bought this land. It's at the top of Disney Lane. I kid you not. Literally, my street is called Disney. And that's how I knew it was the right place. So down in the groves is where we do our sound baths and our song circles. I shared a little bit with my group about how I came out of retirement to work specifically with women. I've always done live events. I've certainly been to lots of hotel rooms and stadiums and things like that, but I really believe in the power of the small, intimate group, especially since I'm so passionate about working with women. But I also want to share with the people that are talking about land. I wanted to just say, I love what you guys are up to, but it's not just for the people. My trees and the fruit that I grow actually changes frequency because of the sound that we bring to our events, and it affects the whole valley. When I lived up in Malibu during the fires, my whole street burned. This true story. The whole street burned in Malibu, except for my house, the house in front of mine, in back of mine, and on either side. I kid you guys not. And my neighbor said it's because of the sound baths that you're doing at your house, Michaela. I can't prove that, but not anything was touched in my house. Nothing. And I have friends 5 doors down who lost everything. So I just want to say to those of you that are working with outdoor spaces, including Jon and Mansi, I applaud you, I celebrate you, I acknowledge you, and I want you to understand that it's not just the people that are being affected. You're affecting the land, you're affecting the trees, the birds, all of it. So I do events for women. I want women to activate their voices. I want them to be heard. I want them to speak their truth. I want them to ask for what they want and claim it. So I'll be doing an event on 8/8 in Oceanside at a beautiful property. So that's me.
Thank you so much for bringing up the sacred grounds. I think we all can agree that was no accident, that your land was spared from all that. And this is a big element of the community architecture, is the sacred grounds. Again, not the hotel ballroom, the sacred grounds that you're referring to, the huge part of it being in harmony with the land, and why it brings out the authenticity and the divine connection and the ultimate mission of the individual and the tribe bonding. All that comes through with the sacred grounds. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, we're going to keep moving, gang. A few of you have been asking, what is the ARC? So I'm just going to share real quick about that, and then we're going to bring on Sebastian Cruze because we are already running a few minutes behind. Oh, sorry. No, I had it right, sorry. So the ARC is our 4-acre property that is in West Ramona, on the border of Poway and Ramona, if you know San Diego. So from the airport's 30 to 45 minutes, and this is in the mountains. Everyone thinks about the beaches of San Diego. Well, we're in the mountains of San Diego. And across these 4 acres, we have, you see here, a geodesic dome. We also have a biohacking / longevity lounge with an infrared sauna. We have a podcast studio, and it's really ideally suited for groups between 5 to 25. Okay, we can sleep up to 18 people here at the ARC, and this is where the magic happens, gang. Some of the events we've hosted here, this is Marie Diamond from The Secret. She came down as a guest speaker. We've also had Doria Cordova, Money and You many times. Larry Namer, the founder of E-Entertainment, has been with us. And some images here from the retreats that we've had, where these are all community architects, leaders in conscious entrepreneurship who are really committed to doing their inner work, impacting the world in a positive way, and thriving in business. Right? We consider that the holy trinity of their personal development, the positive impact in the world, and their business thriving. We do have a retreat coming up called Sangama. Sangama means a gathering of kindred spirits in Sanskrit. So Mansi introduced me to this term, and we just felt a big yes. This is what we're meant to call this next gathering of community architects, right? This is the through line for all of us, is gathering kindred spirits. So it just made sense to call it Sangama. It's happening July 8th through 11th, so it's coming up. I see several people here who'll be with us, like Dr. Laura and Jerry and Tim. And this is an opportunity to be architecting your community, obviously, and in a way that will create something really thriving, to be earning $300,000 a year plus from your community, an additional $300,000 in revenue. That's what we have done for folks up until now. Those who apply this system have found that to be creating 6-figure events, and to be doing it in a way that's really congruent with you, that doesn't feel icky, salesy, none of that, and to be structuring your community too, where you're going to have referrals coming in and a system to be scaling over time that doesn't lead to your burnout. So there's facilitator training also, that's part of this. And really, gang, it's about the people you meet too, I feel, is the biggest value. Mansi and I are exceptional curators, and we have high levels of discernment. We don't invite just anyone. So those who do come feel like, oh my God, I've never been around this many amazing people at one time. That's the feedback we get over and over. And then of course the land, that's just already been mentioned. So if you want to speak with us about that or dive deeper into community architecture, then you can have a complimentary call with us. It's value driven, and then we'll see if it's aligned for you to join us further. So you can go ahead and scan that code and jump on our calendar. If you are interested in Sangama coming up July 8th, we recommend this week would be the best time to communicate with us because we just have a few spots left. Anything you want to add to that, honey?
I personally believe that the kindred spirits, the heart center, soulful leaders are truly the Jedis of the planet. They are some of the best human beings I've ever met. They do the inner work. They have a big mission and vision for humanity. And they've got to make the money that will fill their cup, and they'll fill their community's cup, right? Because community first founders do put a lot of money back into the community, right? So that's why having these type of gatherings is so important, because some of us, we are sometimes too much on the spiritual side and could have things to break through with money and shadows around it. So I truly stand by what we're doing, because we want to have a world where, in contrast, there's so much good happening that we can keep moving the ball towards the light side.
All right. So if you want to book a call with us, go ahead and do that now. Otherwise, we are going to move on, in any case, to our very special guest. We're excited to learn from. Sebastian Cruze, referral mastermind, Dream Team 100, a referral mastermind of 6- and 7-figure coaches. Where is that stud? There he is. Through Dream Team 100, Sebastian has built a community centered on collaboration, conscious leadership, and mutual success. His mission is to raise consciousness by connecting purpose-driven professionals who are committed to creating greater wealth, health, and happiness in their businesses, communities, and personal lives. By leveraging the power of trusted referrals and high-value relationships, he helps leaders grow their networks while contributing to a more connected and empowered entrepreneurial ecosystem. You can see the alignment, certainly, between us and Sebastian. We met Sebastian last October at the Four Rooms Mastermind, and he was definitely one of the bright lights in the room, someone we resonated with both on a spiritual level and on a business level. We just had the same lens through which we saw business. Like, why are we in business? Of all the things we could do in our life, why have we chosen this path? And it was for the same reasons, because we love people, we love bringing people together, and we truly know in our hearts this is how we can make the biggest difference on the planet. So please give a warm welcome to Sebastian Cruze.
Thank you, John. What an amazing intro. And thank you, Monty, as well, for having me here, and excited to share whatever I can to help all the wonderful purpose-driven souls here that I can already tell right away.
Yes. Well, Sebastian has a really powerful community of 6- and 7-figure coaches. I've had the privilege of being in part of one of their events before and saw firsthand. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of rock stars here. People I've known, I've followed for a very long time. They're in his community. And he uses a strategy called the Dream 100, which is made popular by Chet Holmes from the Ultimate Sales Machine. And he's definitely made it his own and taken it to a whole other level in this context of community architecture. Before we get into that, though, I'd love to hear a little backstory. When did you first become a community leader, an event gatherer, people gatherer? When did that first start for you?
Yes, that began on a plane flight. And at that point in my life, I had passive income through my local marketing business. But I could feel that it wasn't my purpose. It wasn't my calling. Even though we were doing great work and we had amazing clients, I was searching for what is my true calling and how can I have business aligned with that. One of the past speakers, Yannick Silver, has been a longtime mentor of me, and I always grew up hearing about the evolved enterprise, having purpose, passion, profit, all flowing together. But I didn't know what that calling was for me. So I found myself on a plane flight, and all of a sudden I felt the desire to start drawing. And I looked down and my hands started going on autopilot. And after a few minutes passed, I looked down and I saw two distinct symbols. As I looked down, I just felt the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And then it was just like a rush of energy up and down. And minutes passed by, and then that's when my whole life mission, my whole calling opened up to me. And it was in a snap. And I heard the voice and I saw the vision that for thousands of years, the most powerful people on the planet have been using and abusing the people on the planet. And I saw that a window of time would open up where new leaders could rise. New leaders focused on truth instead of censorship, focused on actually collaborating together instead of competition, and actually focused on service instead of so much of the corruption that we see. And I also saw that the window of time wouldn't be open forever. And in fact, it was already closing. And when it closed, who knows when it would be open again? You know, how many thousands of years would have to pass again before these structures of corruption and control were cracked open to give a new opportunity for new leaders to rise? So when I felt this, the message that I got was that this is way too much for any one person. And the mission that I received was to unite these new leaders together. And this was before COVID. This was in 2016. So before so much of the corruption has come to light, and government and organizations and global health, this is before that. And so when that all rushed in, I thought to myself on this plane flight, how do I make sure I don't back down from this mission, from this calling? And I thought, well, if I tattoo the symbols on my body, then it'll be pretty hard to back down then. And so that's what I did when I got back home, is one on each shoulder. And that's when my mastermind began. So that's been the heartbeat, the through line ever since then. That was about 9.5 years ago. And that's the same mission to this day, is serving and stepping up. Because I believe all of us as souls came here for this specific point in history to help humanity shift. And I also believe nothing's guaranteed. Like, it could go one of two ways. It could be we could destroy ourselves with the technology we have, or we could blast forward into a radically abundant new renaissance. So if you're here and you've woken up early, you feel like you've gone through your dark nights of the soul, you've gone through your ups and downs, I believe all of that was in preparation for this time now to lead. And as Jon and Monty shared, community is the key right now and forever. And multi-billionaires like Mark Cuban are putting so much money behind this because it's true. So I believe all of us here is for the exact reason right now, and this work that we're doing is totally aligned, totally needed, and a very abundant business as well.
So given that they are on your shoulders, do you think you could show us the tattoos?
Again, I shouldn't have worn that. I should have wore a different shirt. Dang it. All right, hold on. Let me get it out here. Okay, there you have this one. So that's in the, that is in the logo. People ask what it means. I don't know, but it took me 7 years. That was drawing the inspiration in for the first 7 years. And then what I've come to realize is the second one is all about grounding in the physical reality. Because we could have the vision, right? But we still need to do the 3D human things to build it into the 3D world.
So it's a reminder to have the vision while being grounded.
Yes, exactly.
So useful.
Beautiful. Well, we've had such live conversations in depth, but never talk about the tattoo. And then now on the video call, we get to see it.
Yes.
So Dream Team 100 is the name of your mastermind. Is that correct?
Correct. Dream Team 100.
Okay, so can you give us some creation story behind Dream Team 100 and then just kind of walk us through to where it is now? You take it away.
Yes. So for many years, the mastermind has continued 9.5 years. And there was a point where I was having a conversation with Yannick Silver, and I asked him how much he had generated through referrals. He said 20 million, and started talking about something else because he's so damn humble. And I was like, wait a second, wait, like for real? And he said, yeah, and that's, conservative amount. So that planted a seed in my mind. What if I could grow through referrals instead of giving money to Mark Zuckerberg? And at the time, it was peak censorship all over. And I have no problem with billionaires. I have no problem with making money. I have a problem with censorship, especially when we're supposed to be in the land of the free. So I was like, this sounds pretty good. I'll grow through referrals. So I put together a referral circle of people that I'd known for years and years, sometimes over a decade, 14 years, people I loved, respected, adored, trusted. And that referral circle, to help grow my mastermind, ended up just exploding and having a life of its own. It felt like immaculate conception, where all of a sudden something just came to life and just grew with a life of its own. And there was a transition period there too of like, what is this? How does the business model work? But it really had its life of its own. I realized, I'm the steward of this life force that's moving now. And so when it took some time to connect them together, and then that's when the referral mastermind was fully born and fully focused, so that I wasn't split between two different groups.
Can you explain to us how that referral circle worked initially?
Yes. So yeah, it was one seat per expert. So what is their expertise or their niche, whether it's story marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's event planning, whether it was speaking, everybody had a specific niche. And what actually happened, if I rewind back, I had first thought that they were going to serve my clients. So I got people that I thought would serve my mastermind members, but turns out my mastermind member said, that's too many people. Can you just tell us what to do? And I was like, oh, I did not expect that. So then I realized, though, I have this call booked with these amazing people. I want to honor every minute of their time. And that's when I realized, like, oh, everybody would be good referral partners for each other. And that's how we began that piece.
Mm-hmm. So it grew from there to then, now you have how many events per year? What's the structure? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, 3 and 3. Tested a bunch of things out. So we've got 3 mastermind calls a month, and we have 3 in-person events a year.
And the in-person events you'll use not hotel ballrooms. You like to use mansions in nature. Is that right?
Exactly. Totally resonate with it. This time in August, we're going to be on a very large property with a lazy river in the middle. So it's all about relaxing, connecting, because for referrals, they come from trust, and trust comes from community. So a lot of people will call me a super connector, but I just really see myself as a community leader, as a community architect. And I know that creating those bonds, that trust with intention and focus, generates referrals.
Yeah. As a community architect, what would you say are the most hard-won lessons along the way, things that you may have wished you knew at the start?
Where do I begin? So Michaela mentioned human design. I'm a 3-5 projector, 3-5. So I learned through experience of just jumping in head first, getting some bumps and bruises, and then having recommendations of what I'd recommend and not recommend. So first thing is figuring out the model, because if it's not sustainable for you and it doesn't cash flow, the money is going to be pulled from somewhere, whether that's your other business or your other product or your other whatever. So really figuring out the model. For us, what I landed on was a simple membership model. Members pay an annual membership, just like it's a mastermind, instead of doing percentages and such. So that way, they pay their membership, and then it's like, let's make you much more times money than that and create a case study. So first thing I would say, have your model so it's sustainable for you. And if we're giving from an empty cup, that's not the highest quality energy for our community members, right? So if we care about truly serving our community members, we got to have a full cup. We got to be overflowing with it, I believe. That's one. The other one is boundaries on your time. Boundaries on your time. Because being community architect, being community leader is one of the most high leverage things that we can do and be. So there's a ton of benefits, ton of leverage. People always want to promote or speak in front of my community. And that being said, I believe it's got to be a calling, because there's plenty other ways to make money. And I know everybody here, it is your calling. So with that, there's going to be things that come up. You know, it's a collision of people and personalities and phases and things in their life, right? So a mistake, I would say, is not making enough money where it's your 100% focus. Like some people ask me, like, oh, that's amazing. Like, is that your main thing or do you do other things? And I'm like, yeah, it's my main thing. And it's taken a ton of discipline and untangling so that this can be the full focus. And I think about it, like if I had another business, that's almost like cheating on my community members, right? Because like there's a finite amount of time. So I'd say make money, make it sustainable. So then you can hire the team that you need, community admin, member success coach, so that you can truly be in the seat of leading the community and the nuances and the communication and have the emotional bandwidth to guide the ship. So I'd say those are the top two. I could go into so many, but make it sustainable for you. Surround yourself with the right team, have it be your calling, and make sure that you have the bandwidth and the space to truly lead the nuances for community leadership.
We love this so much because so many community architects have this funny feeling about charging people, as if it's not heart-centered to be charging people, which is a story. And what I'm getting from what you're saying is that we actually have a responsibility as the leaders of the organization to make it sustainable and to be able to show up fully for our people. Not like, oh, it's a side thing, I have to do this other thing to make money. I love your analogy about cheating on your community. So to be able to show up in this monogamous way for your community, it means that you have to have the money coming in to be able to do that. And obviously to create great experiences for your people. So whatever story we have, gang, or funny energy, we got to do the inner work to clear that out. This is some of the stuff we break through here at Sangama, because invariably it comes up. And it's always worth emphasizing as it does come up that clear whatever's in the way. Be aligned with you creating a sustainable, thriving organization that allows you to show up 100% for your people, if that's what you're called here to do. Let's open it up to some questions. Who has a question for Sebastian? Scotty O, you are up.
Sebastian, you alluded to a team. Can you tell me what the key team members that you need and like at what stages do you bring them on?
Yes, absolutely. So previously, I was taking an AI first approach to my business. And what I've learned is that's not the path that I'd recommend. What I recommend is people first, powered by AI. People first, powered by AI. So simple, but actually completely two different tracks. Just like if we're in a plane flight and it's a couple degrees off, you end up landing in a different state or a different country. So first one is community admin. Community admin, what I've done is a Latin American talent. I work with HPO Staffing. Shout out to them. They've been amazing.com, hpostaffing.com. And they found me an amazing person from Mexico, and she's my community admin. So that can get a lot of the main thing, like so much off your plate. I'd recommend starting part-time and then moving to full-time when you're ready. I'm a big believer in the profit first system, which has certain phases that a business goes through. And based on those revenue phases, their recommendations have certain percentages of how much to spend on your operations, how much to pay yourself at each stage. Totally recommend that. I wish I would have started my entrepreneur journey using it. Relay Bank is the bank that I use that allows profit first, so that every dollar that comes in, you can break it up into different buckets, so you always know what your budget is. So community admin and then member success coach has been the track for me. Now, we have a higher ticket mastermind. It really depends on what's the model that you're doing. And then from there, it's probably, I mean, what I haven't done that yet, but I'm looking at is maybe it is a more manager role, or maybe it's a AI technician, like systems in the building. What I wouldn't do is do it the opposite, where you go with the biggest hire first of like the CEO, I mean, the COO, or those big roles. I'd flip it and do the lower skill levels and move up the skill ladder.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Profit First, is that a book or is that like, I'm not familiar with that.
A book, yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep, and then if you look up Profit First bucket allocations, you should get a graphic on Google with what the revenue phases are. Yep, Michaela, I see. Or sorry, John, take it away.
Michaela, you're up.
Okay, here I am. Projector was my next guest, by the way. I have a question for you about something that I've been having a few conversations with lately. You're in a mastermind where there's, you know, it's based on trust, a lot of trust. So what do you do when somebody comes up to you and says, I want to be in your mastermind, but either they don't have a good track record or your gut tells you this is not the right person for my tribe? It's been coming a lot up lately with the work that I do around trauma-based healing. We've been really, you know, navigating like, where's the line when you say this is the right person and this is the wrong person, and how do you deliver that message to them, you know, in a way that doesn't leave them angry or upset? So I would love to hear what you actually say to people that approach you and you're like, this isn't the right fit.
Yeah, that's a great question. And this got me stuck for a good period there. So two things. Number one, and be very clear on your standards of what they are. And I would have them laid out. And that could do 80% of the heavy lifting. Because then it's the standards that are clearly stated at the door that's doing the filtering and the saying no, rather than you and anything being, you know, personal about that. And with the standards, it's this is who we are for, this is who we are not for. And I recommend making that as polarizing as possible. Just like be very clear. For me, I got lucky in the sense because as a recovering people pleaser and like a, you know, really big empath, that was a sticking stone of like feeling what's going on with them more than they'd feel in themselves. So when we exploded, we were growing so much that I didn't have I didn't even have bandwidth. Like I had to just put the standards up really quickly, clearly before even talking with me. And so if it's like booking a call, I would have very clear questions of it, of like, are you this, or are you this? Are you this, or are you this? Are you this, or are you this? Are you this? And then the people who weren't a good fit didn't book. And it was great because I didn't have the time, I saved that time. So that's one piece. The second piece is it's stewardship. So I had to make a decision is, am I committed to this new person in front of me, or am I committed to my existing community members? And am I going to be a people pleaser or a steward? The steward is to protect the people in here. So there are multiple conversations that I've had where I've said, I have a gut feeling that this is not the right fit. And I, really like what you're doing, and I really see XYZ for you. And also I've got to be honest, because what I want you to do is to succeed, in the program. And if I don't have that gut feeling, yes, then I can't, in integrity, invite you in. And people have been great with that. People have been great, actually, because also I think I've said too, like, to save time. Like, I want to be, transparent and clear to save and respect your time. And right now, for whatever reason, I have a gut feeling no, on this being the right fit. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Michaela. I know we're a little bit past top of the hour. We have time for one more question from Nathan. Before we do that, how about you share with us how to stay connected to you, what you have coming up?
Yes, I would say Instagram would be good. I can go ahead and put that link in here. I'll go ahead and put a few links. It's just my name at Instagram would be good. Transparently, I don't check the DMs ever, so I wouldn't. I wouldn't message there. And but that is where to stay in contact, and I do have a website right there as well. That's another thing. Being a community leader, like, there's a lot of communications, and so finding my way of, having space for everything is a work in progress.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tim had a question in the chat. Do you prefer a set start date for opening enrollment, or do you prefer a rolling admission?
If you're launching your community for the first time, I definitely recommend a launch date with a clear cap on your capacity. It's very simple what I'm about to say, and it just makes a world of difference in my experience, from either struggling and like asking God why, because you're doing your mission, but nobody's signing up, versus feeling totally aligned and empowered and having your community come together. That difference is in this one distinction I found, is to have a clear launch date, put together your list of people that you feel like are a really clear yes. So if it's 10, and then cutting your spots in half. So only having 5 spots available.
What's that about?
Supply and demand, and the energy of selection. Because what I find, because I'm in the coaching space and I'm helping coaches get referrals, is that the neediness energy comes through in so many unconscious ways. And the meta lesson that I believe we're all on is going from the client chaser to the sovereign leader. And part of that is saying, hey, there's demand here, but I'm going to give my full focus to 5 here, so that we can just absolutely hit this out of the park. And you get 1 signed up and you only have 4 left. Get 2 signed up, you're almost halfway there, you only have 3 left. So it completely shifts the dynamics and allows purpose-driven, heart-centered leaders like everyone here to actually have their heart shine, because it's not just grabbing as many seats and people. It's no, I'm going to just make the best experience, the most devoted experience to these 5. And then there'll be another cohort. So if they miss it, okay, great. Let's get your deposit in for the next one that starts in 2 months or 1 month, whatever it is.
Okay, great. Nathan, you are on.
Thank you. Hey, Sebastian, great to meet you.
Likewise.
My question was, I was thinking about, you talked about building your team and the roles that you assign to that team. I'm currently putting together my very first retreat. It's going to be at the Arc in December. And I have my team. It's kind of a co-producer / consultant, because this is my first time creating the retreat, but I have a very, very strong vision for it. And then I also have what I call a sales manager, who's also doing AV later on. How do you tend to build your teams for retreats, and or how do you what roles do they play? What roles do you play with regard to selling the event, with regard to marketing the event, with regard to producing the event, designing the event? I feel like I'm the designer, but I also understand in the lead role, I'm supposed to be the lead salesperson, but I also would like to be able to delegate that or have that be a combined role, not me myself, because I'm more of the creator designer type of person, but I also don't want to shed the responsibility of being in the sales part of the country.
Right. Okay. There's a lot here. So I did mini events just by myself, lead, role, and probably for, in smaller events, higher ticket, 5 to 6 people. So you can do it lean and green with that way. The instinct for all of us, I would say, is to want to be just in the leadership role and let the sales handle, the marketing handle, AV and everything. The reality, I believe, is we got to earn it. We got to earn it. And it takes in steps too. So what I would recommend is keep your expenses as low as possible. Play defense with your expenses, because then you're able to show up in abundant energy rather than being like, oh my God, we got to make sales just to break even. It's not a good energy. People will do amazing things for speaking time. People will do incredible things, so you can leverage that. Again, the benefits of being a community architect, community leader, is high leverage. So what I've done is trade sponsorships for it. And I also sell sponsorships too. So it's a real thing. It's not just a made up number. So 1 minute of speaking time in front of everybody, 3 minutes of speaking time, 10 minutes is a lot, actually, especially with the curation, 15 minutes. So what I would recommend is take a look at your key roles, which, AV, how many people do you plan on having?
To attend, about 50.
About 50. How many events have you done before?
I myself, this is my first, but my team has experience.
Okay.
But I myself, this is my first foray. That's why I put my team together.
Okay, got it.
But it's coming along beautifully, actually.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you got your core team, and so those are expenses. Things around it, like that's really what I would recommend, is being creative with what can be a win-win-win. And it'd probably be, I've been surprised of how open people are to it. And with 50 people, depending on the room, there are sponsorships. The best sponsors that I found are people who grow their business by sponsoring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so simple.
That's actually what we're looking for, is sponsorship right now. In fact, I was going to ask you about that, to be honest, but that's not for this call, but I was interested in talking about that.
Right. And what I just said is, it probably flew underneath the radar, but it's the key. The only people who pay for sponsorships are people who already are growing their business through sponsorships. So simple. Mm-hmm. So for example, instead of putting money into ads, instead of doing other LinkedIn strategies, they know that we have a budget and we get in front of rooms with the right people of our ideal client. They already have their offer, their free gift. So those would be the ones that focus on. If it's a person's first time sponsoring, wouldn't focus on, because there's so much of a gap to reach. And in terms of the question of sales, what I've learned is, unless it's a multi-million-dollar mastermind, what I've learned in my experience is they need to be enrolled by us. They need to be enrolled by us. And what I've learned is that the community members, because it's community, it's not just a program, it's community. And what I learned is they need to hear, I believe in you. And of course, you truly mean it. They need to hear it. I believe in you. Here's what I see for you. We need you. And I want you.
Love that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And speak to their soul. And if you have the sales team to help, if you really focus on that, then that can allow them to help support.
I wish I had this recorded. I wish my Fireflies was in here. So I wish I wrote down what you just said, because that was awesome.
I do have my AI, but I don't know the rules here. Happy to
Well,
share.
it is recorded. So the call goes live on YouTube. So you can catch the end of it and rewatch it.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Thanks for staying on, Sebastian. So appreciate your wisdom. I was taking lots of notes throughout myself, and some key yeah, you really model so elegantly exactly why we do this, why we're standing for community architects on the planet, gang. And I've heard from so many people in Dream Team 100 what it's like being in your community, and the standard you set where it's not guru centered, it's not extractive, there's no agenda, it's all heart. And our slogan here is together we rise, and that really comes through in your mission as well. And we are really making a big ripple effect out in the world. Now, it's not always the most visible to notice, but it is there, and we get to really know that every day. So thank you for showing up the way you are and being our guest expert for today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and love what everybody's doing here, and thanks so much.
Yeah. All right, gang, our next community architects gathering will be happening July 8th, the morning of Sangama. Probably the last time I do that on the same day, but it will be happening. We do every second and fourth Wednesday, and our special guest then will be Sahar Nafal, major rock star in the community architecture space, bright side of life. She ran for 10 years, and she lives, breathes, and teaches community. So we're excited to have her the morning July 8th. Do mark your calendar to join us. All right, go ahead and share anything in the chat, anything well wishes, takeaways. Thanks to Sebastian. In the meantime, much love, be free, and together we rise. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.